I believe the secret to success is the same, whether you come from a small village in the Austrian Alps or a big city like Los Angeles. The principles are universal, and they don't care about your background. There is one thing you must do. First and foremost, you have to work your ass off. There are no shortcuts, no magic pills. You can have the best idea in the world, but if you aren't willing to put in the work, the sweat, and the hours, it will remain just an idea. Second, you must have a very clear vision of where you want to go. A vague wish is not enough. You need a goal so clear that you can see it, feel it, and taste it. Without a vision, you are like a ship without a rudder, drifting aimlessly. Once you have that vision, you have to be brave. You have to be tough. You need the discipline to fight for that vision every single day and to follow through, especially on the days you don't feel like it. It is also incredibly important that you do not listen to the naysayers, because at every step of the way, when you make a bold decision like, I want to be a bodybuilding champion of the world, people will line up to tell you it's impossible. They project their own fears and their own limitations onto you. They'll say, it's an American sport. You're a farm boy from Austria. It will never happen. When I said I wanted to be in movies, the chorus of doubt was even louder. They said, you have an accent. It will never happen. No one with an accent has ever become a leading man in Hollywood. Your body is too big. It's strange. Everything is impossible until someone is crazy enough to do it. Trust yourself, even when no one else does. Break some rules, not the law, but the rules of expectation. Don't be afraid to fail. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. Ignore the naysayers. They are the background noise to your journey. And stay hungry.
Never feel like you've made it.
Let me tell you, I've made a fortune in several careers and found great success in all of them by relentlessly ignoring the naysayers and believing in my own vision. Imagine being 15 years old in Austria, reading magazines about bodybuilding legends in America and telling people, I want to be the bodybuilding champion of the world. They'd look at you and say, wait a minute, that's not an Austrian sport, that's American. But I had a clear vision. I knew exactly what I wanted to look like, the trophies I wanted to hold. I started training 1 hour a day, then 2, then 3. By the time I was 18 and in the military, I was training 4 to 5 hours a day, finding any way I could to get my workouts in. The hard work paid off. I became the youngest Mr. Universe ever, the youngest world champion at age 20. So much for, it can't be done. Right after that, because you have to stay hungry, I went after my next goal, to come to America. I arrived here with empty pockets but a mind full of dreams and a heart full of desire. I knew this was the place where I could dominate my bodybuilding career and begin my acting profession. I kept training 5, 6 hours a day, pushing my body to its absolute limits, and I won one world championship after another. By the time I finished, I had won 13 world championship titles, more than anyone else in history. And then, I was hungry to move on. You can't bodybuild forever. I wanted to get into acting, but again I faced the same wall of obstacles. People said it couldn't be done. Agents told me directly, your thinking is all wrong. You can't just become an actor and walk into movies, and you don't just want to be an actor, you want to be a leading man? Forget it. With your accent, with your overdeveloped body, look at you. And with your name, Schwarzenegger or whatever it is. I can't see that on a billboard selling tickets. But I didn't listen. I attacked it with the same intensity as bodybuilding. I started working hard, 5, 6 hours a day. I went to acting classes, speech classes, dialogue classes, and accent removal classes until my jaw was sore. Everything you can think of, I did. And slowly, the tide started to turn. All those so-called liabilities started turning into unique assets. The director of Conan the Barbarian told me, if we didn't have you, we would have had to build someone just like you. For Terminator, the director said, I can't imagine anyone else playing the Terminator. I can't imagine the line, "I'll be back," in a normal American accent. Your German accent makes it machine-like and perfect. So all those liabilities became assets. My career grew, I went from one movie to the next, and I ended up becoming the highest paid actor, making $30 million for Terminator 3. So much for "it can't be done." This is why I tell you, anything and everything can be done if you can visualize it and believe in yourself. Never give up and never be afraid to fail. Otherwise, you box yourself in and live a small life to avoid the risk of a big fall. I was never afraid to fail. Not when I ran for governor, not when I tackled environmental policy, not when I tackled anything new. Failure is just part of life. It's a stepping stone. Work your ass off. There is no magic pill. There is no magic out there. It's all reps, reps, reps. Now, I'm a big believer that there is no such thing as a self-made man. People call me the perfect example of the American dream, and that's a great compliment. But don't ever call me a self-made man. I am not self-made. I got a lot of help. I would not be here without my parents, who gave me love, affection, and discipline. I wouldn't be here without the bodybuilders in Graz who mentored me, or without Joe Weider, who brought me to America, gave me confidence, and paid for my first apartment. Without that help, I wouldn't have made it. How can I possibly say I'm self-made? As governor, 5 million people voted for me. Every one of them helped me become governor. How can I say I did it alone? It would be complete nonsense. Those are the elements of success. From my bodybuilding days onward, I didn't just lift for myself, I wanted to lift the entire sport. I was always interested in working towards something bigger than me, something that would outlast me. No matter how successful you get, no matter how old you are, you must always stay hungry for more. You must always be hungry to learn, because you never know enough. When I was young, I thought greatness was tied to fame and fortune. I thought a big career, money, and personal achievement equaled success. I was dead wrong. I learned this later, by coincidence, when the University of Wisconsin asked me to help with a program for Special Olympians. I flew there, and we started with the bench press. One kid was absolutely terrified of the weight. He was screaming and shaking. I calmed him down, showed him it was okay, and told him to watch his friends. After everyone else went, he got back in line, determined. He started with the empty bar, then asked for more weight. He kept going, from 20 pounds to 40, to 60, to 80. When he finally finished that 80-pound lift, he jumped up, high-fived everyone, and his face was bursting with pure joy and confidence. Watching him go from absolute terror to unshakable self-confidence in such a short time was a real eye-opener for me. That feeling was more rewarding than any box office record or championship trophy. That is success. So remember, have a vision, think big, ignore the naysayers, work your ass off, and then, most importantly, give back to change the world. Because true success isn't about what you get, it's about what you give. Because if not us, who? If not now, when?